Here at Riddle Pace Field, Barry McKnight with Troy baseball coach Skylar Meade. It's not the first time that I've been here at RPF since the Super Regional, but gosh, there's still that vibe, isn't it? Here we are in mid-August now. Is that vibe still there for you in this program after winning against Little Rock and going to Omaha?
I think so. First off, I'm excited to be on here with you.
Yeah.
I thought of something. This has nothing to do with the vibe part, but I thought how exciting it was that you and I were actually in this office 2 months ago doing June pre-games.
Yes.
That's something that we, have probably dreamed of, maybe if we didn't even speak it, but doing a preview of baseball games in June here at RPF in the office like you and I always do about 3.5, 4 hours before a game. Pretty exciting, and for some reason that popped in my head the other day. I don't know if it was just something in my desk and I thought of you and whatnot, but yeah, look, the vibes are great. It's exciting around here. Around the town, the city, the state. Everywhere you go, it's been pretty cool the last couple months.
Can you express, or have you thought about it in this context, of exactly what all that meant for this entire university?
No. Yes and no. I think, and obviously you're the master with the words on TV and radio and all that. I think that everybody's perspective is probably different as to what it means to them, both in that what's now a past moment, what it means in the present, but still what it means in the future. Look, for me, and I'll never coach speakers, so we'll have a great time talking on here. I got to think about everything that it means for the future, right? How does that help us with recruiting? How does that help us with our continual investment in the program, which we already do so amazing with? What does that mean for what we have to get better at as a program? Because our goal is to win a national championship. So we didn't do that. So we have to continue to get better, right? But I think having those memories, having all the things we can go to, whether it's you and Jerry's calls on the telecast to go back to those like exciting moments, obviously the TV clips, the social media clips, those are there forever. And so I believe the game has changed, right? I believe the game's changed here. I think this showed us a whole new stratosphere that we can be as Troy baseball. What got to happen? Maybe we can all talk about Omaha and the specialness, and look, it's what everyone dreams of if they enter the sport of college baseball.
No doubt.
And I'm not here to take away from that. People can go find my clips, what I think of Omaha. It's very high, it's high remark. But I think being able to host a super regional, to do the things that our fans, that our community did, don't even worry about the baseball, right? Like, I'm not speaking about that. But the way that everyone stepped up, the athletics department, right? The university, the city, just every part of it. I said all the names at the time, but Kyle, Dan, Mike, Friggy, what Adam had to do, what you and Jerry, how quick you had to prepare, and the way that we had to present this, the TV people, you name it. Like, the list it's never ending. From our workers, right? I don't even know what was going on out there in Doubles Alley. It looked like chaos, but it wasn't chaos. Security, everybody stepped up, right? And so I think it shows that there's another way and another level things can be here in Troy as we embark on a future season and future seasons to come.
That's what I kind of wanted to explore, that tangent I wanted to get down to, because everybody has reminisced and thought about it over and over again about how special that weekend was. I was talking to a Troy professor. He says, it didn't matter what we did in Omaha. For me, what we were able to accomplish here in the Super Regional is the high point. Obviously, it matters in Omaha anytime. If anybody doesn't know Skylar Meade, and every time they roll the baseball out, if he's not out there to win, you don't know him. But I'm interested about the future. Bill Belichick once said whenever he set the record for most career wins in the NFL, somebody asked him at a press conference, they said, so what goals do you set now? And he thought about it for a moment. He says, well, I hope we have a really good practice today. You're at that point. You have reached a pinnacle. You've reached certainly a touch point in the growth of this program. You are responsible for a lot of it, but you're also responsible for turning the page and getting things moving towards the future.
No, it's a great question concept that you have to think of, right? Because you can't get totally caught in the past, and you also can't get caught in the past in your way of thinking, right? Whether that be how we're going to practice, how we're going to train, how we're going to get better, glossing over areas that aren't good enough. Just do we bypass things that are good and say, hey, let's focus on these fault? Like there's so many things you're evaluating, right? So I think for us, there is a relevance to that Belichick. We start our group work on Thursday. We start our weight room and a little bit of baseball. It's very minimalized baseball. It's more systematic introductory, but that's what I'm excited about. Like I want to see the guys play catch up close, right? From a pitching perspective, I know, Ben and our other coaches want to see the guys hit or play defense, whatever it is that we're doing on those days. Adam in the weight room, who did a tremendous job. People that don't know, I mean, he kind of took over 7 days before the season and did an amazing job. We throw hard, we hit the ball hard, and we stayed healthy. The three most important things that a strength coach can be involved in. He did an amazing job. Like, that's what kind of has me excited. I'm excited to get a couple weeks from now and be in the bullpen and see guys throw, a 25 pitch touch and feel and see what that looks like. I think you have to be that way as a coach. Whereas, I think the fan part, and by the way, they should, a fan sometimes can continue to think and revisit the past. We as coaches and players, even more important than us as coaches, the players who are returners, they have to continue to move forward. New guys need to understand expectations, values, but I think what maybe would be relevant is you say, hey, how do you evolve? How do you change? How do you whatever? Our core values are the same. We're still built on attitude, toughness, discipline. We're still built on winning the day, right? We're still built on trying to figure out ways to win. We're still going to be absolutely unequivocally built on our culture and how we connect and what is our identity, or what does our identity develop to be. We don't know our identity on August 18th as you and I sit, but what will our identity become? How does it need to change, alter, have slight, pivots in the road? Like some of those things we don't know, but we got to be willing to grow because, as I said, it's not that we're going to change goals, but we did not win a national championship. Oklahoma did. So therefore, they did things better than us. Their coaches did a better job than I did, than myself and staff. Their players did a little bit better. So we have things to still strive to improve upon.
I've been around a while here. I've been around the game for a long time. I've seldom seen a symbiotic, y'all look it up, a symbiotic relationship like you have with Ben Walgamot. Is that real? I mean, has that always been that way? You guys almost constantly think with one accord. And certainly you think with one goal together. Talk about his impact on everything that's happened and everything that happens from here on out.
Well, and first off, I would say, I mean, everyone that's been in our building, part of the requirement working for me, and look, it's the first time in my career I've gotten to be in charge of as a head coach over the last 5 years. Everyone we've had in here in our building, the names of, recent past to guys who were here 3 years ago, like we all have to row the same way. And I think that's one thing we've always done a good job. Now look, I've known Ben for 15 years, right? We joke about it, but we were in Charleston, Illinois together, and him and Maggie at the time were engaged. I was a third wheel often, as we were trying to go eat $2.99 all you can eat pasta on Wednesday nights and dollar burgers on Thursdays at the Panther Paw. Like, trust me, we've come up a little bit. But I think the thing that you always value in coaching, and obviously Ben has this, not just in friendship, which I think for all of us, it's all about like our relationships, right? Like you and I get to talk all the time, but like being real friends helps our conversations, right? Like
absolutely.
When you and I talk, like it, yeah, like do we get to talk 365 days a year? No, but when we talk, we have a relationship, so therefore it spills out. I think you asked specific to Ben, our relationship gets to spill out probably into how we coach because we can be honest with our players, but our players do know unequivocally, as all of our coaches are done, everything we're doing is by strategy to get them better. So if it's patting them on the backside and saying, hey, you're good, that's what we think at the time. if we're challenging them or getting on them, they know exactly where it's coming from. Therefore, this is no personal nature. This is what you need at the time. And sometimes we're almost, I say lying, we're not liars, but like you're finding a way to kind of push that needle to get the brain to flip to perform. But I think everybody that's successful has people that they're in lockstep with, right? And you wish that with everyone that you work with, everyone that you're with, and it's like a marriage, you know?
Yeah. A lot of time together.
It's a lot of time, and it's as we joke to our wives. We were able to tell them the joke when we started coaching together 5 years ago. We still were talking 5-7 times a day when we didn't coach together. So now it's business related. You know what I mean? It's all business related, and you obviously know there's a tongue-in-cheek nature to that. But I think we keep it loose. Obviously, we don't take ourselves too serious. Yes, we take our profession absolutely serious. But I don't think we take ourselves too serious where we act like we're above doing anything. Because, I joked to someone the other day. We share rooms on the road. I know that might not be a big deal to some people, but like I'm never gonna feel like, hey, we're gonna put ourselves in a different spot. We have to have our own room. No, like we share rooms.
Yeah.
We're just like the guys. So I don't know if that answers the question, but I would obviously do anything and everything for Ben and the people that have been in this building and done a tremendous job.
See, that's what I love, is it answers the question, but it also spawns about 2 or 3 more questions. So, sometimes it's a miracle that Skylar and I can keep our pregame radio interviews to 6 minutes. I wanted to ask you about this, therefore, because of, again, you're straight up, they know what the expectations are from the moment they set foot in this complex. But number 2, there's a lot of lightheartedness as well. Your program has gained a reputation for player retention. Is that part of it?
I mean, I believe so. I mean, look, we should have a reputation for player retention. Our guys come back.
Yeah.
Like, I had a mom sit in here, mother of a player that's on a roster now, actually, but in the summer of 25, and we're making, our communication, our quote unquote sell, if you will, even though it's just us being honest. We're sitting in the same room, same table you and I are on. And she says, Coach, I got to be honest with you, like, you guys don't lose anybody. Everybody comes back to you every year. Like, that's your biggest sell. You don't need to tell me about your culture. That tells me everything that I need to know. And so, yeah, it is real. And I just think, like, I think players know way more than you would ever give them credit for. They're perceptive, right? Sometimes there may be a lack of common sense we can joke about. Right? I love our guys, and you say, do we keep it loose? Like, I would say it just like that to them, because there's things that they don't do. You're like, oh my gosh, and you tell their parents, and their parents are, flabbergasted, just like I'll be at some point in life too, right? But then there's other times where you go, they pick up on this. Like, they pick up on something, and so they're able to understand with all of the intensity and the expectations and the seriousness that is in this, we're having fun. Like, we're coaching, we're coaching baseball. We're coaching baseball. Like, yes, is it important? Is there financial dividends to all this for the athletics department and the university and all that? Like, are those goals that are huge for? Yeah, of course. But like, we're not putting that burden on them, right? We try to feel that. Therefore, we try to raise you up to do your job on the playing side. But in baseball, more than any other sport, if you aren't in a good headspace, more than likely you're not going to play very well.
It's like Coach Pierce said years ago, the fun is in the winning. It's, do you have fun? That's real fun is when you win, and that's what everything is predicated around, with the culture being well established and gaining sort of a respect nationwide for what that means here at Troy. You've always been able to sell that culture and present that culture here at Troy very well, you and Ben and the other assistant coaches who recruit. Have you noticed an extra vibe, an extra bump in your recruiting acceptance of your message since Omaha?
So, on one hand, absolutely yes. Like, we've certainly, in our time, we've not had too many people that as everything has grown, which I feel like this has been a continual growth, right? Like,
absolutely.
Everything that's going on. I do feel like people know what Troy is. They also know what the Sun Belt is. There's a lot of respect for the Sun Belt and what's going on, which I think is a big part of this, by the way. That's not just a Troy thing. I think it's a Sun Belt thing that should be credited. But I feel like people had a great acknowledgement of success and some identity based, and we joke, and Joe, I give all the credit to Joe years ago when 23, when we chromed the helmet, right? Like, people were like, man, your team's great. That different things have connected. Look, I would be not being realistic if I didn't say that we can't get on the phone and everyone not know what Troy has done in recent. Like, let's call a spade a spade. But it hasn't changed how, what, and why we recruit certain guys. There's still schools that we're not going to beat on a guy. And that's okay. Like, that's okay. We still have to get our guys. And, recruiting rankings or whatever, but we've continued to stack high-ranked recruiting classes because our coaches have worked. We get the right guys. I think kids understand we have an identity, which that's probably the most beautiful part of all the success, is there's a lot of kids that some have known, some have heard, and some don't know. Now it's like everyone saw it on full display. Because that's the beautiful part about when you play as deep as we did into June, they put you on TV a lot. So people hear and see things that otherwise they don't, and the ESPN people do such an amazing job of painting stories during the games, during segments, and that's probably what I'm so appreciative of. Look, anyone can watch Jimmy hit a ball and go, wow, he's really good. That's a great one. I could joke with my guy Chris Burke, like, that's not a hard call. Like, good job, man. You and Eddie Perez, like, yeah, he's a great player. But some of the stories that they told of our program and what really goes on behind the scenes, to me, that was the most important part, because that sometimes go unseen. And when recruits know that, and then they kind of feel it when they watch, like that part that you cannot actually describe, but you watch the freedom our guys play with, the passion, the want to represent the Troy script, the want to represent the Power T. I think that goes a long way when you are recruiting a guy that's on the fence. What do I want to do? Do I want to go here? Do I want to go there? Or do I say, I believe everything those guys are telling me. They've told me on TV that those guys are open and transparent. I've seen it. I've seen them on ESPN late into June, right? That can be that edge. And you ask, has there been a change? I don't know if we've totally seen it yet, but I think that's the part that gives me great excitement, is we were able to sort of push the door a little wider.
A lot of people ask this question, and I'm asking this to close, but I'm going to refine it a little bit. Sometimes we'll ask, or you'll see asked, when did you fall in love with baseball? When did you really fall in love with football? I want to refine it, because you are a college baseball lifer. When and why did you fall in love with college baseball?
That's a good question, Barry.
Have you thought about that? I'm sure that there were influences, people influences, memories, teams, all that you really reflected on and said, wow, that was great. What is it about college baseball that resonates so much with Skylar Meade?
I mean, that's a really good question, first off. I'm not going to give you the credit that I'm totally stumped here, but you're making me reflect and kind of think. I mean, look, I do remember at 11 years old seeing Warren Morris hit the home run and being like, wow, LSU. Like,
against Miami.
My goodness, that's a lot of people out there at Rosenblatt. Obviously, being a college baseball player and, fanfare, not fanfare for a while, and then being on a team that makes a run and kind of opens a whole new door to a university like the team I was fortunate enough in 2007 to be on. Mm-hmm. I think that gave me a new appreciation experiencing what our guys just experienced. But I think that for me, and I don't know if this is the way you think I would answer, but this will be year 20 in college baseball as a coach, right? So I was an assistant for 14, then a head coach for 5, obviously embarking on 6. I think that the thing that college baseball has, and I feel it more every year, and I get to maybe express it more as a head coach, college baseball, as amazing as it is, and the growth and the pageantry that we've seen here in Troy, right. And you've done it for a long time, long before myself. Troy's had a passion for baseball, and there's always been a passion for college baseball. And college baseball is in this beautiful spot where we haven't gone corporate, right? Like, where we're not like acting like it's the big leagues and it's Yankees, Red Sox, right? Which is awesome, but like, we're not Yankees, Red Sox.
It's different.
But we're not ESPN the Ocho. You know what I mean? And we're in this like beautiful spot where I think we can connect to so many people, and there's so much room for growth. And I joke about it a lot. I'm not making this a podcast about money, but like, we're in the entertainment business, right? I always feel, look, it's a sport, but it's entertainment. But there is money to be made in the sport of baseball. And the reason I bring the money part is people are going to spend their money where they're entertained. How entertaining is our sport? Oh. We have guys that devote their life. They're real athletes. And look, I am going to peacock about our guys. Our guys are behemoths. They're animals. They're aggressive. They play with passion. They represent this university, this city, this town, this part of the state, the Wiregrass. You should spend your money to do that. And therefore, when I feel that and get to perpetuate that to people, and then they see the dividends of that, that equates to growth. And I think college baseball, we're in this beautiful spot, not just at Troy, although at Troy, we are at the apex of this, but like, everyone can continue that growth. Can everyone be LSU? All right, could everyone have Mississippi State and do Super Bulldog and get 17,000? No, I'm not saying everyone can do that. But guess what? If I said to you, hey, Barry, you've been in Troy a long time. I won't say a million years make you feel old because you're looking young as ever. But if I said to you, hey, you know what I was really dreaming on the other day? What's that? Man, we're going to have 7,033 people at a Troy baseball game. As much as you appreciate the things that I dream of, you would say...
I would have to see it first.
You would say, I find that hard to believe, but I appreciate your passion, buddy.
Yes.
You wouldn't believe it. And guess what? Maybe I wouldn't either, right? Even as I'm speaking it. But I think we have seen the excitement. We've seen what we can do. Other schools in this country are seeing it. Our league, the Sun Belt, is feeling it as much as anyone. Look at attendance numbers, which I'm privy to. Look at what that means financially for the school, the university athletics. It's a beautiful time. And so I think I've probably always had that affinity to baseball. Look, I love basketball. I love everything where there's ability to compete and get after it. But I think I've just felt that growth in baseball. And it's like whatever I felt when Warren Morris hit the home run off the hamate and that excitement, it's only built the last 30 years. And I don't give that to give a canned answer. It's that I'm more excited today than I was 30 years ago. And if you and I do a podcast tomorrow, I'd be even excited than I was the day before. And so our sport's an amazing place. Troy's an amazing place. I'm not going to crush our fans if there's not 7,034 people the first game. But we can do amazing things here that we never envisioned. And you know what? You just have to believe it and put in the work to do it, and anything can be accomplished.
I couldn't agree more. And by the way, we run about 25% of you answering questions the way I think you're going to answer them out of the thousands I've asked you over the year. About 75%, it goes in a different direction than I could have ever expected. Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck and go Trojans.
Thank you, my friend.